Hey guys, welcome to today's reading. Today's reading is all about, are you on the right path and where is your current path taking you? And today we have a beautiful selection of cards and crystals for you to choose from. By the way, I just posted over on my Patreon a really fun 18 plus, what are their late night thoughts of you reading. I also posted a reading all about your spiritual progress. We have two different types of fresh readings with very different vibes to them. But over on Patreon, you'll find around 70 additional readings about all kinds of topics. You'll also get early access to all my YouTube readings. So I post those over there first, and you'll be the first to watch them totally ad-free. But like I said, there are 70 unique readings that you'll only get on Patreon. And there are readings about love, relationship, money, career, all different kinds of topics, spiritual work, past lives, shadow work, so many different topics to choose from. So if you're interested in getting more content from me and early content from me, that's where you can find it. Head to the link underneath the timestamps in the comments and the description and join me over on Patreon. So with that being said, if you're new to this channel, welcome. You're going to see which of these cards is sticking out to you, calling your name, drawing your attention in towards it. And then as soon as you've made up your mind, just scroll down to the timestamps in the comments and the description, and that will be the pile that has the message for you. I also want to mention that I am doing private readings at the moment, and you can even get a year ahead reading since we're heading into 2024 whenever I release this video. So you can get a year ahead reading, you can get a hour-long private reading, half-hour reading, pre-recorded reading. There are so many different options to choose from. You can have me focus on tarot, just channel for you, use astrology to answer your questions. So there's so many different things to choose from over on my website. And if you would like to get a private session with me, get my undivided attention for your situation, then head to the link in my description for briarrosetarot.com. So that's about all I have to say, guys. Now, if you need more time to decide, you can totally feel free to rewind, pause, and take as much time as you need. But we're going to go ahead and jump into pile one. Hey pile one, welcome to your reading. So if you guys picked this Dragon's Duel card, this is going to be your reading. Let's get into your tarot. We're going to do a live shuffle and see whether you're on the right path, where the path you're currently on is leading you towards. Is pile one on the right path? What path are they currently going towards? Where is their path currently leading, Spirit? What do we need to know for pile number one? Okay, so the first card is the Seven of Swords reversed. So I'm not going to lie to you guys. Sometimes that can be a little bit of a negative card. It can indicate that there may be underhanded forces around you or people that don't have your best interests at heart around you. It can also indicate some level of deception, sometimes even self-deception, not being honest with ourselves. So the question I would ask you guys, seeing that come right off the bat, and we'll get obviously more cards, is are you being honest with yourself about what you want? Have you truly investigated and been looking deep into the life you're leading? And is it authentic and honest for you? Are you living the life you dreamed of, the life you imagined when you close your eyes and think about what you're doing with your life? Are you genuinely happy with it? Do you feel like it's serving a greater purpose? And if not, how can we pivot and find a way to make that happen? If it's a job you hate or you feel like you're just getting by and you're just working at something to pay the bills, you know, there is that message that life is meant to be so much more. And of course, it's easier said than done, right? Not everyone can pack up their things and just quit their job tomorrow and, you know, go live in the Caribbean on a boat, even though that's maybe their dream. Of course, we have to pay bills. We have certain constraints in life, but maybe there's a way for you to manifest, think about how to go about that, how to make it happen. And it may involve a level of being radically honest with yourself as well as with others about what you want. Sometimes it's like we're lying to ourselves, you know, or we're lying to others and we're like, yeah, I'm happy with this when we're really not. I want to get some more cards though for pile number one. Is what path are they currently on? Where is it leading? Is this the right path for them? Are they on the right path? Okay, the Tower reversed. So I would say that's another no. Yeah, that's not a super positive card. But you know, the good thing about it is no energy is permanent. Energy is always changing, shifting. That's kind of the good and the bad news. No matter where you're at in life, you'll never be at the same place again, the exact same place. So, if you're in an energy that isn't working for you, you can pivot out of it. You can choose to find something new. You can choose to find something different. And I think sometimes when I think about the path to an authentic life, I think that the hardest part sometimes to fulfilling someone's destiny is literally the judgment of others. Even in my like private readings, I talk to so many people and maybe they feel called to do something. Maybe they've always felt a certain calling or a dream or a whatever. And, there's a sense in their mind of like, but if I do that, people are going to judge me. What are people going to say? What are people going to think? I honestly think that's a huge obstacle to achieving anything, is like that worry, because I guarantee there's going to be something embarrassing about it, even at first, even if it's just at first, when you're first starting out on YouTube and no one's watching your videos, or you're posting on TikTok and no one's watching your videos, and there's an embarrassment factor. And then even when you reach success and people know you, for me, like, it's a little weird to tell anyone, which I usually don't tell people, but when I'm first meeting them in real life, that, I do tarot readings on YouTube, a lot of people might think that's a little strange, right? But if that's something you feel really deeply called to do, even if you're going to face that judgment and people not understanding you, because people will misinterpret. Another thing is realizing that the judgment of others, a lot of times it's like whatever people are saying to themselves to cope for their life. You know what I mean? Maybe someone is hating on the person who's trying to be a YouTuber because deep down they would love to be a YouTuber and they're embarrassed. So they're going to mock you because you are posting to, maybe you're getting 30 views at first, and they're going to make fun of that because they wish they had the bravery to actually try that. Or maybe they're making fun of someone for being an influencer because deep down that's their dream, and they wish they could do that. They wish they could live that way. So I think sometimes we have to realize that the judgment, the anger, the resentment, we may feel like, oh, well, I'm going to have to face that if I step towards my destiny. That may be a sign that you're on exactly the right path when the jealousy and the hating starts. So we shouldn't let it hold us back. We definitely shouldn't let it dictate our life. And how horrible would it be at the end of our life if we look back and we're like, yeah, I didn't pursue my dreams because, I was afraid of like Daryl from my high school judging me. You know what I mean? Like, what an irrelevant person to let make up your destiny and this beautiful, special, precious life that we get to lead that flies by and is over really fast. Why would we allow someone else to dictate that for us? So for some of you guys, it's going to be pushing past that discomfort of what are you doing or what are you afraid to step into because of the judgment of others? What are you feeling really called to do in your heart that may be like a big move, but you're afraid of what people are going to think, what people are going to say? And how can you start disconnecting yourself from that? How can you just stop yourself from even considering it? What Spirit just showed me is like the idea of the first person to wear a trend is always going to look weird and people are going to judge them. Maybe the first person to stomp around in like Doc Martens in the 90s and wear plaid everywhere probably looked pretty strange coming from the 80s. But of course, that was like the iconic look that became a huge trend for the rest of the 90s. But I guarantee you the first person dressing that way probably looked pretty weird to most people. So it's funny because whenever you're doing something different, whenever you're doing something that's going to have an impact, yeah, you're going to get judgment. But in a way, we can like have the confidence of knowing this is such an outer planet energy, like Aquarians, Pisces, and people with heavy aspects to Uranus or Neptune are often very ahead of the crowd with things. They'll often be the first person to like sense that something's going to be a trend or that there's going to be a difference in politics or there's going to be some prevailing cultural opinion that is involved with the masses. Pluto and Scorpio placements as well. The outer planets and generational planets often have that like tune in, they're very tuned into the collective and what's going to happen next with the collective. And so a lot of those people, they may seem kooky, they may seem strange, they may seem weird, and people may laugh at them at first, but then cut to like a few years down the line, and that person that has like Uranus aspecting Mercury or Neptune aspecting Mercury has completely accurately predicted everything that's going to happen. And the things they said were a trend, or the way they were talking, or the thing they were interested in that everyone laughed at, suddenly is like a widespread, huge movement. And so, again, I feel like for you guys, you just need to give yourself that permission, almost accept the fact that, yeah, you probably are going to get some judgment, or you are probably going to have people not understand you. That shouldn't be what holds you back, and that shouldn't be what separates you or makes you limit your own life choices. How sad is that? The idea of some random stranger dictating what you're going to do with your one beautiful life, you know? So that's what's coming to my mind for you guys with maybe the path you're on and how you could change it. With the Four of Swords, it could be that you need to do a little bit of meditation to kind of tune into that. It could also mean that you're having really prophetic dreams and that your guides are trying to speak to you through your dreams to tell you what you should be doing. This may be something that, with the Eight of Swords, has been tugging away at you. Maybe you've been knowing that you're supposed to pursue something like this, and you do know it deep down inside, but you're kind of running away from it, or you're not wanting to acknowledge it. Maybe you're hoping it's going to go away someday. Maybe you're hoping, like, as much as I feel called to do this now, maybe one day it'll just go away magically and I won't have to deal with this and I can just pretend everything is fine. Um, but when spirit has a destiny moment for us, when spirit has something they really need us to do, we have to understand too that it's not just for us, it's for the collective, it's for the masses. And we might not understand even how that's going to play out. I was actually talking to someone the other day about 70s rock. This person really loves 70s rock, and I was telling them how much I love Blue Oyster Cult for the symbology of stuff and various reasons. But the point is, they were saying, like, oh yeah, Blue Oyster Cult, that's really cool. But, you know, they never reached the level of widespread success of some of the other bands, but they were super influential. And we were talking about that. And I've been thinking on that a lot lately. There's so many examples of like hugely influential artists that maybe they became obsessed with a certain way smaller artist. For example, the example I always think of is like Kurt Cobain really loved this bipolar singer-songwriter Daniel Johnston, and he even wore like his album cover on a shirt on his last ever appearance on MTV. Anyway, the point is that Daniel Johnston is not like a household name. You know, most people don't really know about him, but he was hugely influential on Kurt Cobain, Nirvana, and a lot of other artists at that time. And there's lots of examples of bands like that that didn't really necessarily reach like widespread acclaim, and yet maybe they have had a huge impact on the music we listen to as a collective. Maybe it wasn't them getting the glory, maybe it was them inspiring someone else and then the collective benefiting from that. So it's easy sometimes to think maybe it has to look a certain way, or I have to reach a certain level or whatever to have an impact. You never know how your stuff that you're putting out there into the collective may have a ripple effect, a chain reaction, a domino effect, affect something else, inspire someone else. And that's really why it's so important for all of us. Even if you think it's a tiny thing, even if you think no one's going to see this, when I think of some of the most influential books for me, the most important books that like had the biggest effect on me, a lot of them are really small books, not famous authors, not famous books. Of course, you know, there's plenty of like famous books I like as well, you know, Harry Potter and I don't know, other big books like that. But when I think of like my favorite books, a lot of times they're not ones that necessarily anyone, like very few people would have heard of, you know, they didn't reach any widespread level of acclaim. And yet they still mean so much to me. And I think that, again, it's easy to think that maybe the thing you're doing isn't making an impact, or, well, why would I put that out there? No one's going to notice. It's not going to make a dent. You have no idea who could be wanting to consume your content, who might stumble across your content, who might benefit from you putting whatever out there into the universe. You know, you might open a small, tiny scone shop and you don't know that there's a famous writer who lives nearby and always Uber Eats a scone from your shop every single day, and it's literally what single-handedly fuels them to write their book, and then millions read the book and it gets made into a mini series and it becomes super famous and people get inspired by it the world over, and you would never know that it was your little scones that powered this through. You know what I mean? And a lot of times we may not get to see that until the end of our lives, until we get to go over like the records and kind of see what we accomplished in this lifetime. But trust me, when we all are putting out our best and highest version of ourselves and pursuing our own unique calling, that's when the magic can happen. That's when we can have a huge, beautiful effect. And the saddest thing is seeing someone be too scared to step into their potential, be too scared to go for it, thinking, well, I don't really matter. What difference would it make? I'm just not going to do anything with this. I'm just not going to put this out there. Because there may be so much value in what you're doing that you might not ever fully get to see or fully get to comprehend. And that's why it's really important for all of us to make sure we're living in alignment. And when we feel that tug of spirit pushing us towards our calling, to actually listen. And no matter what the haters may say, there's always going to be haters, doubters, judgers. The funny thing is, even when you like stick inside the lines and, you know, stick in your little box and you kind of do everything right, you're still going to get haters and doubters and judgers. So you might as well have fun and live your best life and do the things you want to do. Let's get some more cards for pile number 1. Are they on the right path? I feel like we already have that answer. Where is their current path leading? Because I feel like, you know, I think the current path you're on, you know, the message is that maybe nothing will change. The current path you're on, you could imagine that as like, look, Five of Pentacles reversed. The energy will stay the same. So if you're at a job you hate, if you're living a life you don't really like, just imagine that energy persisting for the next 30 years. And maybe that'll be enough motivation for you to be like, okay, I'm going to definitely change this. And yeah, I gotta switch things up in my life. But I also want you to know that there is another path available with you. And maybe it's a riskier path. It's reminding me of that Robert Frost poem, The Road Less Traveled By. And I feel like for you guys, this beautiful other path that you have, yeah, there's a riskiness to it. There's an uncertainty around it. There's a little bit of fear. There's a little bit of nerves, but it's going to take you to some place that maybe you could have never predicted. Again, when I look at my life and all the various cool things that have happened to me, all the coolest things seem to have happened out of the blue or came from left field, or I was on a different path and I wasn't really expecting something to come, and then boom, it enters unexpectedly. And that's kind of the cool thing about life. But I think when you make the commitment to like, I'm going to pursue what I want, I'm going to genuinely speak from a place of authenticity in my soul, I'm going to push myself to be as honest, as true, as authentic as I possibly can, as vulnerable as I can, that's when you start getting like oriented around magical things. That's when spirit really starts wanting to show out and to show you how cool things can get and makes those magical little synchronicities happen. So I would say that, you know, I don't want you guys to feel discouraged, like, oh, you're on the wrong path, and you're always going to be on the wrong path. But there's a message with you about truly, fully stepping into your most authentic, genuine self, most authentic, truthfully, honest, real version of what you're supposed to do, what you're supposed to accomplish, and all the places you're supposed to go in this lifetime, and not being afraid to step into that, not being worried or nervous about, not even thinking about how are other people going to take it? What will other people say? What will their opinion be? You know, honestly, so what? Who really cares? If they don't like it, if they don't get it, if they don't get you, then that's okay, right? Okay, so I'm just shuffling some message cards for you. We got, it's all in divine order, allow. Okay, what messages do we have for pile number 1? What messages do we have? I'm just going to shuffle this like close to me because it's a lot of easier. This one says, when peace is your priority, negativity cannot exist. And actually, I think that's a really interesting way to think of, like, I think so much of the time when someone's in an energy where maybe they feel called to do something, but they're scared or they're nervous, they kind of start thinking about all the ways they can manage the negativity, right? All the ways they can avoid the negativity, all the ways that they're going to find ways to mitigate it and not let it happen. And the higher vibrational energy is actually expecting the negativity to happen and being like, yeah, when it happens, I'll be fine. Realizing that like you'll be fine is actually such a key and crucial part to being willing to kind of take on that hero's journey. Realizing that, yeah, there probably will be some pain. It's kind of like if you go to the gym and you want to increase your muscles, chances are that you're gonna go and probably hurt a little bit, and it's not gonna feel super comfortable. It's not gonna feel like just, laying in a feather bed. You're gonna have some ache in your muscles. It's probably gonna be pretty hard lifting the heavy weights, but that's what you signed up for the forward growth, the spiritual growth. And in life as well, when we really commit to a certain path and we truly want to accomplish stuff, then yeah, spirit is going to bring things into our life to transform us, to make us grow, to make us more powerful. And that's not a bad thing. So, in a way, facing the judgment of haters, facing any obstacles along the way, facing sometimes the uncertainty of like, okay, so what am I doing, spirit? What path am I on? I don't fully understand this, but I'm trusting you. I'm trusting this process. I'm listening to my intuition, not my logical brain. There's a certain kind of special magic in that, and yeah, there's pain that comes with it. There's uncertainty, there's fear, but learning to embrace that instead of running from it is what allows us again to step into our highest version of ourselves. I think so much of the time people stay stuck in dysfunctional relationships, jobs, situations. There's a stagnancy in their life because they're so terrified to make the change. They're so terrified of the uncertainty. Maybe that's why certain people cling on to old relationships and think about like an ex-boyfriend from years and years ago, because they're like, deep down they're thinking, well, I'll never fall in love again, or there's not enough men around, or there's not enough attractive men, I'll never be attracted to someone that way before. But the universe has endless abundance. Same for someone who's staying working in a job that they don't really like, and they're convinced that if they actually pursued their passion and they started writing, or they started posting YouTube videos about turtles, or they started um you know cooking and opening a bakery, they're convinced that they're not going to have enough money. They're not going to make money from it. They're going to fail. And like I said, I think some kind of special magical alchemy comes when we're actually willing to fully jump out of that plane and like trust spirit to be our parachute and to make things happen for us. That's when I think spirit like goes to work and really, really makes it happen. So, yeah, it's not to say that it's going to be super easy, but I feel like a lot of you guys are being called to step into something a lot greater. Um, it could mean, because we got the Three of Wands, like changing your job, changing your location, maybe changing your attitude or approach to life. I'm hearing for some of you guys, you may have an energy or an attitude around like stressing out about things a lot or doubting that it's possible. Maybe deep down you have a scarcity mindset, or you have this idea that like life is hard, I've got to have security, I can't step outside the lines. And I feel like it would be a really great exercise for you guys in pile one to just really interrogate that and maybe talk back to that voice when you tell yourself, well, I'm not going to have enough money for that. Well, I can't give up this job. I need money. How am I going to get paid? Telling yourself the universe has endless abundance and I will find a way. And it's not to say, okay, go quit your job tomorrow with like no savings. I'm not encouraging that. But I think also spirit can hear when we're like, okay, I'm open, I'm on this path, I'm ready. And that's when maybe he'll start moving us, pivoting us. Maybe he'll start inspiring us more and more to write, to start the YouTube channel, to do the TikTok, whatever it is. And maybe that, in time starts happening to the point where we could leave our job because the book gets published, or because the YouTube channel does really well, or whatever. So sometimes it's just the process of allowing it to unfold, not resisting, not running or hiding from it, but just letting it come to us, letting it flow to us. And also it's okay to not know what that is or exactly how it's going to happen. It's just sometimes allowing spirit to use you as a tool. I think that there was a time in my life when I asked spirit, like, spirit, take the reins. And I would never have predicted that I would be a YouTube tarot reader, but but things happen in life, and sometimes things unfold exactly how they should, even if at the time, or if you could have predicted it, you would have been like, whoa, I don't know about that. But sometimes it's better than you could have imagined. You enjoy it more than you could have imagined, and beautiful things happen that may come as a complete surprise. And the point is being allowing ourselves to be used as a vessel, allowing ourselves to live out Spirit's potential for us, God's potential for us, not our idea of what something has to look like or our idea of how we're going to help the collective. Spirit might have a completely different vision for your gifts, your talents, your special energy and essence that is you, and know exactly how to make things happen for you and how to let you serve the collective. So sometimes it's just not running away, not doubting or freaking out or questioning the process, but like I said, allowing it to unfold and letting it be known to Spirit that, like, I am open to whatever this is. I want to also get some final message cards for pile number one. What messages do we have for pile one about the path that they're on? What messages do you want? Let's see. Protected by angels. You are cherished by the angels. So, pile one, you guys are protected. There's no need for you to be afraid. There's no need for you to be fearful or to worry about this path. I think that a friend of mine was just telling me the other day about like this car accident that they were in. They actually were they were walking down the road, hit by a motorcycle. And they said the other person, the driver, was really messed up. The bike was completely smashed. They actually got hit by this motorcycle, and they said they basically had like a few scratches on them, but that's about it. Like no real damage. They even went to like a clinic to be like, should I get bandaged up? And they were like, well, not really. You don't, I mean, you have some, it's like a little bit of road rash maybe and stuff like that, but it's really nothing we can do. You're pretty much okay. And I was also telling them about how I got in a horribly awful near miss car accident. The car flipped literally at the last second before it would have hit me in my driver's side door. So I probably would have been killed instantly, and it must have been a millisecond away from hitting me. And I walked away with no scratches, no impact to the car, a few gravels that flew up into the side of my car. So, like a couple tiny little dents from gravel hitting it. But that's it. I mean, pretty good considering the car would have killed me. And so my point is we were talking about how trippy it is to have those kinds of car accidents happen right in front of you and to see a car flip and to walk away completely fine. And how kind of scary it is, but also reassuring because you're like, okay, I think I was protected in that. And, there's so many stories like that. I really think when you're on your path, and not to say that someone who suffered from a car accident or something wasn't on their path, but trust and believe that the angels are around protecting you and they know what needs to be done for you. They know, especially when you're doing something to serve the collective, they're going to want to look out for you. They're going to want to protect you. So don't be afraid of the risks. Don't be afraid of the things that could go wrong. As long as you are serving your highest purpose, as long as you truly feel like you're giving to the collective, you might be amazed at the ways that you're protected. And when it happens, be kind of tripped out, staying focused, hold the course, okay, and walk in beauty. So also with that staying focused card, it can be a message about how important it is that sometimes when things aren't going right on the path, or when things, because I do feel like maybe there are some people in this card who are on the right path, but maybe you feel like it's not moving forward in the right way. Maybe you're like, but I am serving the collective. I am, and I have taken risks, and it is really scary, and I'm not staying stagnant, but it hasn't worked out the way I thought. Also good things have to unfold at their own rate, their own pace. Things that are meant to serve the collective have their own timing, have their own divine timing. And if something isn't looking like it's working out for you right now, it's not to say it won't work out for you down the road. It's not to say at the right moment, you're not going to know exactly what to do with something or how to manage it, how to handle it. I do feel like for a lot of you guys, there's a message of being bold, being unafraid, being also a little bit stoic about this, not getting up on your feelings because things aren't working out, but really staying truthful and resolute and listening to yourself, your intuition, and the guidance of spirit among everything. So when those obstacles come against you, when it feels like things aren't working out, that's not necessarily a sign to be dissuaded. The most important thing to listen to is your intuition that will tell you whether you're on the right path, whether you're serving the collective, whether you're living out your life purpose, soul mission, whether you're honoring your own unique talents that you're meant to share with the world or not. And if you do feel aligned with that, don't be freaking out if there's a temporary setback or there's something that doesn't, work out exactly like you had imagined or planned. Know that it's all being managed by God, by spirit. It's all happening in divine timing. And so even if it seems like right now you're frustrated with the timeline or the timing or the speed or the pace or the situation you're in, sometimes you're put in situations too to teach you lessons, to make you learn things, to refine you and prepare you for a greater blessing, a larger platform, a future success. And you never know what that timing is. So the best thing we can do is make that commitment to spirit, to the collective, to honor our talents, our mission, and then allow the path to unfold and not freak out when things don't seem like they're working out perfectly in the short term. So yeah, I think that is what I have for you. Pile number one. If you want more clarity on this topic, I just posted a reading on my Patreon all about the spiritual progress you have made and the direction you're going to be continuing to head and the directions you've already come from. So we get more into your life mission and lots of details about that. But that's over on my Patreon, as are about 70 additional readings. I also just posted a What Are Their Late Night Thoughts About You reading. That one's kind of juicy and spicy. So there's all kinds of readings over there, from the really spiritual to the really fun to the romantic to the career. We cover all kinds of topics over on Patreon. And of course, you also get early access to all my YouTube videos. All of these get posted first on Patreon and they get to watch them early. So if all that sounds good to you and you are interested in signing up for my Patreon, head to the link underneath the timestamps in the comments and the description. But thanks so much for watching, guys. I'd love to know how this resonates for you, whether you felt like it did fit you or not. Let me know down in the comments. I'm always open ears to hear your thoughts, stories, and love reading what you have to say. So let me know down in the comments. Also, make sure to give this reading a thumbs up, hit the like button, and subscribe. And if you'd like to get a private one-on-one reading with me, you can get that at my website, briarrosetarot.com. You can sign up for a half hour or a full hour-long session with me, have me pull tarot for you, read your astrology, channel for you, or do a little combination of all three, and you get to have me tune into whatever question you want me to answer. So if that sounds good to you, go to my website, briarrosetarot.com, and the link for that is in my description. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I'm sending you so much love and light, and I'll be back again very soon with another reading. Take care, guys. Bye. Hey, pile one, welcome to your reading. So if you guys picked the Phoenix card, this is going to be your reading. And the description says resurrection, surrender to change. Let's get into your tarot though. We're going to do a live shuffle today. So we want to know, is pile number two on the right path? And where is their current path leading them? Ooh, the Wheel of Fortune. I love that that just came right off the bat. Honestly, coming out upright, especially, that is a beautiful sign that you are on the right path. And it could show that, the Wheel of Fortune is of huge benefic energy. It is Jupiter energy, which is a luck energy, blessing energy, abundance energy. And sometimes when we're on the right path, it may feel like things are just slightly easier. Now, not necessarily. Sometimes we can face obstacles on a journey. But I do feel like for you guys, maybe things sometimes when you are pursuing your highest version of yourself have seemed easier. Maybe there's certain things you do where it just seems to flow or it just seems to land into place. This could be an energy where, or a life path where maybe you got a job and you didn't really have to like fight for that job. You just got, maybe you saw a job listing and you were like, oh, whatever, and applied, and it was quick and easy and you got the yes. Or maybe you decided to start a TikTok account and it just started from day one. You started getting a lot of views and it was just easy for you. And sometimes I really think when we're pursuing our talents, they're the things that it might not even be obvious to us, like what that we would do that because they're so good at it, Like I always think that the person who's really good at math or the person who's really good at writing, sometimes they're like, "Oh no, I'm not a good writer." And you're like, "You're an amazing writer." But to them, they think of it as like second nature. So they don't even realize that not everyone can write like that. You know what I mean? It doesn't feel like it's something they did or something they accomplished because it can just feel like this is like breathing. This is easy. I didn't even have to work for it. And sometimes our biggest, best, beautiful, most beautiful path for us to take is that thing that seems kind of easy to us. And it's almost like, why would they pay me for this? Like I could do this in my sleep. You know what I mean? And so there is a message for some of you guys where if you're not on this path already, then there's something that maybe you could do to be on the path, or there's a journey for you, there's a life purpose for you that may be something that you're like, huh, I could make money that way, or like, really, I'm really that good at it because like this is just second nature to me. And so keep your eyes peeled. If you haven't found this path yet, it may be the thing that's kind of hiding in plain sight that you're like, yeah, I was always good at that, but like really good enough to make money. Like it's kind of like the person who's an amazing cook and all their friends are like, "You're such a good cook." And they're like, "Oh, whatever." And they open a restaurant finally after being bugged by their friends and it blows up and everyone's like, "This is the best food ever." And they're like, "Yeah, but can't everyone cook this way?" And everyone's like, "No, we can't. This is so good. How do you come up with these flavor profiles?" But they might not even notice that they have a talent in that because they've been cooking since they were a kid and they just assume everyone can like sear a steak perfectly and make the best guacamole ever and whatever else. And so to them, it seems really obvious, but that is their talent that they are intended and meant to share with the world. Let's get some more cards for pile number 2. We want to know, are they on the right path? We also got the Four of Pentacles, so that can show that you're building a solid foundation. Whatever you're doing with this, it may have the potential to pay off very well financially. It may have the potential to really be a solid foundation for you to rely on. I do feel like the answer for you that I'm getting so far is a definitive yes, you guys are on the right path. And it feels like whatever you're working on or building has the potential to make you a lot of money one day. It has the potential to be very financially lucrative, and it has the potential to truly give you a level of ease as well. The easiness of Jupiter energy, the easiness of the Wheel of Fortune is like things we get, just out of sheer luck, out of blessings, when things just magically work out for us. And so you may be building something like that. And Spirit is also wanting to give you a pat on the back for something, because I do feel like maybe there was even some resistance for some of you with pursuing whatever path you're on, because you were like, yeah, it does seem kind of easy. And maybe I wanted something more exciting, but maybe this is the thing that just fell into your lap and it was just easy and it just kind of happened. And sometimes that is the biggest sign that actually we're on the right path and we're doing the right thing, is that thing does seem second nature. It doesn't seem like we had to fight for it or we had to try for it. It did seem like, oh, this just happened. But actually it's a sign of major alignment, because truly a lot of times manifesting, it's easy. It's not hard. It just flows to you. You don't have to fight for it. That's why I always point it out. It's so interesting, and it goes against all our concepts of money, that Pisces and Libra are the wealthiest signs. In fact, I was watching a YouTube video that was supposed to be a deep dive on the energy of Pisces from like this certain perspective, and they were getting some things wrong, and I was like, I don't know about that. I don't know about that. But it wasn't major. And then they said, if you meet a rich Pisces, you're probably, it's rare, or they inherited the money. And I was like, and that's how because factually, that's not true. That might be what you may think of a stereotype of a sign. But actually, statistics show it's the exact opposite. And this is why you need to dive much deeper down into astrology. I'm sure they would probably have said the same thing about Libra, because Libra is also not a hard driving, kind of like money grubbing, selfish energy, or not stereotyped to be that way. But that's the thing. Those two energies that are probably much more peace loving, flowing, easygoing are the wealthiest, because maybe our concept of money and that we have to fight for it and we got to go for it and I've got to work for it, maybe that's actually not so accurate. Maybe money comes when we let it flow. Maybe money comes when it's easy. Maybe money comes when we stop fighting and feeling like we have to push ourselves and work ourselves to death. And maybe it comes when we just get in alignment with the mission and just allow it to come to us and it's all easy. So again, I was like, I cannot watch anymore because I was already kind of annoyed. And that was like the final straw that I was like, no, 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 sir. Like, this is where you need to do your research and you need to also, not just believe the stereotypes or whatever. I can totally understand how someone may assume that, but this is why you gotta like do the deep dives a little bit instead of just going with like pop astrology. But yeah, it's Pisces and Libra year after year that top those lists of the wealthiest signs, and those are the signs that are probably the two most chill in the zodiac. So literally people are even still getting that wrong, even people who claim to be major astrologers, right? And that's how much we associate money with hard work, with like Saturnian Capricorn. You gotta make it happen. You gotta go for it. It's gotta hurt. When actually money often comes with the flow of Venus, with the flow of easiness and beautiful energy. So for you guys, there's your message that if there's something that's popping up for you, that's an easy job or a job or something in your life where you're like, yeah, it's weird. I launched this Instagram and, I posted a video and it had like all these views the next day, but it was kind of crazy. But I don't know. Maybe that's your sign. Maybe that's your signal that this is your path. If it's easy for you, if it doesn't feel like it's hurting, if it doesn't feel like you're having to like exert yourself, if it just feels like, wow, I'm getting paid to do this, this is crazy. That's actually a good thing. And it's such a sign of beautiful alignment. And I feel like for you guys, even if this is like something else, there's a beautiful energy around you of easiness, of expectancy. I feel like you guys would be great manifestors because you're allowing it to flow. You're not forcing it. You're not pushing yourself. You're just going with the flow and letting it come to you. And it's a really beautiful, lovely energy. Let's get some more cards for pile number 2. And if they're on the right path and what the path they're on is leading them to. Are they on the right path? And what is the path they're on leading them to, Spirit? Are they on the right path? Let's see what cards we're going to get. We'll get one eventually, I promise. The Ace of Wands, okay. What path is pile number 1 on? 2 on, sorry, excuse me, pile number 2 on. And what is it leading them towards? It's interesting that you guys got the Ace of Wands reversed, and then we got the Knight of Wands, because the Wands energy is also very instinctual. It's similar to Cups in that it's more emotionally driven. It's less intellectual than Swords or Pentacles, which are much more like deliberate and mental and thinking it through. And then water and fire is much more instinctual. It's very intuitive. It's, I just want this. I just feel called to it. It's not, I should do this and it makes perfect sense and I did the math and I planned every detail out. It's like I'm living fully in the moment and I feel called to this, and it's from somewhere deep inside of me or from something maybe even outside of me, something in the ether, something in the sky, something in the energy, not something that I'm mentally piecing together and planning out. Of course, there's time and a place for both of those energies, right? We need balance in the universe. That's why we have 12 sectors of the astrological wheel. And there's more than one way to accomplish things. We have 4 elements and they're all equally important. But I feel like for you guys, a lot of this is about following your instincts, going with the flow, going with the things that you feel called to do, not the things that maybe mentally seem to make the most sense, but going with the things that flow into place, going with the things that maybe it feels like you just want to do it. You know what I mean? Like we got the Knight of Wands, the Ace of Wands. Sometimes that's an energy of just like, yeah, I want that. Like it's not something that necessarily makes sense. It's not necessarily something that you could tell it to someone else and be like, so that's what I'm gonna do. And yeah, that's my plan. And have them be like, oh, awesome. That sounds really good. In fact, you might tell it to someone else and they're like, are you crazy? You know, the Ace of Wands is like pure desire, pure instinct, pure going for it. And I think it's interesting you got that reversed because sometimes the Ace of Wands can be kind of frenzied and it can be kind of like over the top, rushing in. I feel like the energy here is much more calm. The energy I'm picking up on is much more relaxed. And I think that's how you're going to know you're in alignment when you just feel called to it. It's kind of like when I was just talking about this with someone else. And actually, I was talking with him about how he met his current partner. And we were talking about both of like our experiences dating, and we both agreed that like it's funny, a lot of times when you meet the person you're going to be with, it just feels different from the start, or the person that's an impactful relationship, you know, it feels different. It feels easy from the start. It doesn't feel like you're wondering if they're going to text you. It doesn't feel like, I can't really say that. Well, I'll tell them about that on the third date. I don't know. Like, it feels like you can just tell them anything. You already feel like you know them. You already feel comfortable with them. It feels easy. It feels good. It doesn't feel stressful the way maybe you go on a date with someone else and the whole time you're kind of like trying to, you know, be really mannerly with how you cut your food and you're trying to put your best foot forward and you're not mentioning anything about your crazy family or, you know, whatever the case may be for you, whatever you might hold back about, but you're always like, you know, a little on edge, putting on your best behavior. And a lot of times with the person that you actually end up with, and this is what he was saying with his partner, is like the whole time it just feels like, oh yeah, like I know this person, I trust them, and like I kind of, it just feels good. It feels like you're not pushing yourself. And I feel like that's the energy here where you're going to know what's in alignment with you, pile number two, when something feels easy, when it doesn't feel like you're pushing, when it feels like, yeah, I can relax into this and it's not hard and it's not difficult. And being around this person or taking on this job or getting into this hobby or moving to this place or whatever, it feels easy. It feels relaxed. It doesn't feel like I'm rushing. It doesn't feel like I'm stressing. It doesn't feel like I need to make this happen. And oh my God, I have to put in this work. And okay, I'm going to tell them this and I hope I can impress them about that. But if they don't like it, it feels like complete relaxation. And I think that's what your message from the universe, that's going to be your sign that you're on the right path. That's going to be your green light whenever you meet people that you feel that way with, whenever you come into situations where that's the prevailing energy around you, that's going to be your little message that like you're doing something right, you're on the right path. And I do think you're on the right path, pal, too. I feel like for you guys, a lot of you are manifesting abundance, a beautiful relationship. A lot of you guys are manifesting something that is going to be so beautiful and has a lot of longevity. It's like, I feel like some of you guys, maybe you went through bigger storms in your life or you've been through the hard times. So you kind of know how to sort through that energy. You kind of know what you don't want to be around and what you do want to be around. And I feel like you're being very deliberate about that. And also, I feel like you're letting a lot of things flow to you. You're not pushing yourself really hard. You are letting the universe kind of like sort things out for you. And I think that's a really beautiful energy. You're not pushing, you're allowing it to arrive. And again, Pisces, Libra vibes, because neither Pisces nor Libra is super ambitious for like earthly things. And yet they get all the money, right? So there's something to be said for sitting around and waiting and letting it flow and not pushing and not stressing, but just relaxing and filling your life up with a beautiful energy. And both those planets, one is ruled by Neptune, which they call the higher octave of Venus, the other is ruled by Venus. And both of those are like chill energies, relaxed, sweet, loving energies. So also the more we put that energy out, the more we can feel good in the present moment, the more we can smile, enjoy, even doing small things like, you know, for dinner, ordering your favorite meal. And I'm not saying you have to eat that way all the time. I'm not saying for every single meal you should eat like chocolate cake and whatever, you know, a giant bag of potato chips or something. Of course, we need to be health conscious. But I think sometimes when we seek out a life that's filled with beauty, that's not like a trudging through, draining type of life, when we find time to connect with friends, when we find time to eat delicious food that really nourishes us and makes us feel good, when we take the time to even like do something like put on makeup so we're feeling extra beautiful, or go for a walk in the woods after work so we can kind of take in the beauty of the world. When we find ways to fill our life with that kind of magic that Venus and Neptune are so imaginative and so tuned into beauty and understand so deeply, then we also align ourselves more with those beautiful good things that, money can bring us, all the good things in life, relationships can bring us. So that's your message, really. If you have any confusion, I feel like you are being called to seek out those things that are really beautiful and seek out those things that just make you feel good and don't feel like a chore or like a drain or like something that's work, but feel like things that just put a smile on your face and make your life a little bit easier. So let me get into some of these cards. We want to know, is pile number 2 on the right path? Is pile number 2 on the right path? Is pile number 2 on the right path, Spirit? What can you tell us about pile two's path? Are they on the right path? What messages do they need to know about that? You guys are taking a while to get messages for some reason today. Okay, this one says, anxiety isn't trying to limit you, but free you from a situation that no longer feels good. What is your discomfort trying to free you from? So, yeah, I mean, this can be a message that, again, I feel like you're going to know you're in alignment when it does flow for you. So if you ever are in a situation where you're suddenly feeling really anxious, or, you're stressed out at work all the time, I don't think that is alignment for you, pile number 2. I feel like that is a very powerful sign that you're not in alignment. Some people can power through stuff like that, and maybe they're temporarily in a bad situation, but it's fine and it'll, it's going to work out in the end. But I feel like for you guys, you really need to surround yourself with those things that give you beauty, make you feel like your best and highest version of yourself. And if you ever are in situations where you're anxious all the time, where you feel a high level of stress all the time, where you can't really sleep super well, where you're on edge, like I feel like this is something that so much of the time when we're in those high stress situations, when we're in a living situation we hate, or a job we hate, or a relationship that isn't really working out, we can always justify it. And whenever I've left situations that maybe I didn't like at the time, but I tried to make work, I was always just like, I wish I'd left earlier. That's the only thing, is I wish as soon as I'd felt that lack of alignment, I wish as soon as I had felt that things weren't going to work out, I listened to my intuition and I had been like, nope. And that's the only message for you guys, is when you're in alignment, you are going to feel it. It's going to flow. It's not going to feel hard. It's not going to feel like you're having to push yourself and compromise and, oh, this is so difficult. It's going to feel easy. It's going to feel good. It's going to feel beautiful. And let that be your compass, pile number 2. So when you don't feel in alignment with that beautiful, good, easy energy, then get out of that situation. It may sound harsh, to like break up with someone because they're not making your life easier and it's hard and you just don't want to put in the work, but there's nothing wrong with that. And I think sometimes our society, we over glorify, doing the work. And I think Kelly Clarkson was just talking about that. She said that when she was going through a divorce, some Hollywood star kind of shamed her when she told them about it. And they said something like, well, marriage is work, or something like that. And she was like, oh, okay, I get that judgment. I get the judgment vibe. I think she's a Pisces moon or something, but she got the judgment vibe and she was like, oh, okay. And anyway, what she did was she just kind of like backed off, and sure enough, that person is getting a divorce now. So it's funny, sometimes the person that lectures you about, well, life is hard or whatever, that's actually what they're manifesting for themselves. And that person may have had a really messy divorce. And so the thing is, um, don't necessarily listen to those people who are going to lecture you about, you just have to be tough and you have to stick it out, because they might not even know what they're talking about. So seek out the easiness, seek out the beauty. That's what you deserve. Let's get another message card for pile number 2. What messages we have about pile number 2's path that they're on? about the path pile 2 is on. What message card? We got soul alignment. It's time for a radical change. How can you show up for yourself in ways that you never have before? So maybe for some of you guys, you need to make a change to align with this path. If you're listening and you're like, well, my life has been really, really hard, then yeah, the answer is no, you're not on the right path. But I do feel like it's going to be possible for you guys to step into this energy that is easy for you, that you're born to, that we are meant to live a life of ease. We are meant to live a life of beauty and allowing things to flow and trusting the universe. We're not meant to be stressed out on 10, 24/7 and tearing our hair out and living the most difficult life. We are meant to be leaning into a life of beauty, seeking out beautiful things, creating beautiful things that make us feel good. So, if that's not something you're in alignment with yet, then you might have to make some shifts and changes and pivots and really think, really meditate with the Seven of Cups reversed on what that could be, on all the different possibilities, seeing things clearly as they are and deciding which path we want to go down, or just allowing ourselves to flow to the path that feels the best towards us, that feels in alignment with ourselves and our highest version of ourselves. And I love the word soul alignment, that phrase. I think it's so perfect for you guys because this is going to feel like it's just clicking into place. Like, have you ever been trying to I don't know, I'm getting the image of someone and they're trying to like fit a puzzle piece into place, or they're trying to like, it's almost like if you've ever tried to plug in something into a light socket, and maybe it's dark and you can't see really well, and you're kind of trying to feel out the light socket. And maybe you're kind of waving your hand, like through the air against the wall, trying to feel where is it? And it's really hard. And then suddenly you feel the little gap, you can feel those prongs lock into place, and then boom, it's so easy and it just fits and it just flows. You know what I mean? And there are even like more complicated mechanical things like that I can't really think of. But sometimes we're trying so hard to make something fit into place when the reality is that the right fit, it's just going to click. It's going to be easy. It's not going to have to push. We're not going to have to shove. It's not going to be difficult. It's just going to feel like flowing, ease, and alignment. Let's get some final message cards for you. Pile number 2, about whether pile 2 is on the right path and what messages they need to hear about that path, what their current path is going to lead. Okay, we got answering the call, the time is now, and fogged in, go slow, take time. So this also may be a message that, again, with the easy energy around you, it may not happen overnight. It may not be something that happens in like the course of an hour. I feel like you're being called to enjoy your life in the meantime. So if you're not aligned perfectly with all of this coming true already, maybe you're not aligned with getting the money right now, having the relationship now, how can you enjoy your life in the meantime as your timeline is stitched and aligned with whatever this is? Because sometimes it takes spirit time to make things happen. It's kind of like maybe you're supposed to meet someone, but they're in a relationship right now, and spirit might need to waste your time in the meantime before you can actually meet that person. Maybe you are aligned with a certain job, but the person who you're supposed to work with at that job is working at another company, and spirit has to pull some strings and align some timelines so that you and that person get brought together and you can really make the magic happen. But far be it for us to question or to doubt or to think like, oh, nothing's happening. And I think sometimes it can be so hard because it's easy to get really impatient, and it's easy to feel like if it's not happening right now, it's not going to happen. It's not happening. That's a sign that it's not going to work out, when the reality is that good things do take time. I'm an impatient baker, and I can't tell you how many times I've been cooking like brownies or cookies or a cake, and I'll open the oven and be like, when is it ready? Or maybe I can like cut off a little piece on the edge, or maybe I'll just take it out now and it'll be fine. And of course, it's never fine. You have to let it cook at the right time. You can't take it out after 20 minutes or it's going to be a soupy mess. No matter how hungry you may be, no matter how much you may want it, sometimes we got to have that patience. We got to allow the timelines to take place as they're supposed to. There's a lot of like chemistry events happening inside those baked goods as you're baking and cooking them. And so even though I don't understand exactly what the baking soda is doing and the salt and the sugar and the egg and blah blah blah, I don't understand all the chemical reactions happening to make that little pile of butter or batter puff up into a beautiful, delicious looking cake. But I know something's happening, and sometimes we just got to sit back, have that patience, and allow it to really happen on its own time. So if it's not feeling like it's happening right now, overnight, if it's not feeling like it's happening on a timeline you expected, again, that doesn't mean it's not happening. That doesn't mean you're not in alignment, but maybe your message that you're supposed to take away from this is how can you find peace in the in between? How can you enjoy where you're at right now instead of focusing or stressing on like the future, the end game, the final, what it's going to look like in the end, or how much longer it's going to take, or well, it was supposed to happen like that. But how can you find that beautiful peace and flow and just go along with like the current of life? I think that's why Pisces is an abundant sign, is because it's the fish. It just goes with the flow. It lets life take it to where it needs to go. Sometimes it can be a little aimless for that reason, but mostly, we can see Pisces have had a lot of success for that. So allow your life to flow you where you're meant to be, and don't fight against the process. Let it flow and enjoy the journey. So, yeah, I think you guys are in alignment for sure, pile two, and you are ending up in a beautiful destination. I hope that resonates, guys. If you want more clarity on this, you could go to my Patreon because I just posted a reading all about the spiritual work you've been doing, the spiritual progress you've made, where you've been coming from, and where you're headed to. So we get into more detail about spiritual journey, shadow work, all that kind of a thing. And before that, I posted a exclusive reading about their late night thoughts. So it's a little juicy, fun one, a spicy one. So there's all kinds of readings over on my Patreon. We do have the lighthearted ones. We get the really deep ones, and new ones go up all the time. You vote on them. You guys also will get early access to all my YouTube videos that get posted over there first. So if all that sounds good to you and you want to join me on Patreon, head to the link underneath the timestamps in the comments in the description and join me over there. But thanks for watching, guys. I'd love to know your reaction. I'd love to hear what you think always for my readings. It's always fun to hear your thoughts. So drop it down in the comments. I'm always open to hearing how it affected you, how it resonated for you. And also make sure to give this reading a like, hit the thumbs up button, and subscribe. And if you want to get a private one-on-one reading with me, you can get that at my website, briarrosetarot.com. You can sign up for a half hour or a full hour-long reading with me, have me pull tarot for you, read your astrology channel for you, or those are the main options. And you get to ask me basically whatever you want. So if that sounds good to you, head to my website, briarrosetarot.com. Link is in my description for that as well. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I'm sending you so much love and light, and I'll be back again very soon with another reading. Take care, guys. Bye. Hey, pile number 3, welcome to your reading. So you guys picked the Cosmos card, creativity, vastness. Let's get into your tarot. We're going to do a live shuffle today and see if pile number 3 is on the right path and what path they're headed down. So we got the 4 of Cups. To me, that would be I love the 4 of Cups. It's one of my favorite cards. I would say that is a positive sign that you are on the right path. And if you know what, if you're not on the right path now, what I'm hearing is at the right moment, you may get pivoted to the right path. The 4 of Cups is often a blessing that seems to come from nowhere, seems to come from completely out of the blue. It's a sudden, random blessing from spirit that we don't have to earn, we don't have to seek out. It's a beautiful, random event. And so sometimes if you're not on the right path now, it's almost like a message of not to worry, because at the right moment you will be aligned with the right path. But considering this path leads to that moment, I wouldn't say that you're on the wrong path by any means. But let's get some more cards. Got the 4 of Pentacles reverse. So Fours in tarot mean a solid foundation. And with the Four of Pentacles, ooh, and the World card, wow, it can definitely be a positive message that you're building something solid with the two four cards coming out one after another. And with the World card, for sure, that is a very positive, it's the final card in the major arcana, a moment of completion and huge celebration. It's also got the fixed signs on it, so it can kind of show what happens when we're stubborn and we stick to a plan even when maybe things are getting hard, when we stick to it and we kind of like are willing to be a little stubborn with the universe and be like, no, this is what I want to do. I don't care about the obstacles. I'm going to keep going. Then we get to have a beautiful moment of happy celebration. So I would say the answer is yes, you are aligned with the right path. And this path may take you down a lot of twists and turns. There may be parts of this journey that are difficult. Like I said, the World card is the final card in the major arcana. So you're talking about a journey that begins with the Fool card and ends in the World and goes through all kinds of ups and downs in the meantime. So we're talking about going through a Tower card in a moment. We're talking about having the Lovers moment. We're talking about having a Devil card moment, a Death card moment, Judgment card, and a Resurrection moment, and then also all the fun, more beautiful aspects, the Empress card, the joy of the chariot achievement of something or moving towards something, the fun of that, the excitement of that. There's so many different unfolding moments on the journey through the major arcana, and it's not necessarily saying that everything's going to be smooth sailing, but if we can keep our eyes on the prize, and if we can keep that fixed in our mind, if I know I want this, or maybe not even knowing exactly how it's going to happen or what it's going to look like, but I want to manifest a life that looks like this, whether it's I want to manifest abundance, I want to manifest love, I want to manifest whatever it is, then this is a journey that can lead to huge celebration and a huge sense of fulfillment and achievement that comes with the world, because it's like we made it through, we did all this, we accomplished it. It's almost that much sweeter because we faced the negativity. So yeah, I would say this is very positive, and that the path you are on is going to lead to some level of achievement, happiness, joy, fulfillment. And also, I'm hearing success, also a reputation, like a really positive reputation. Like I feel like more people are going to know you, more people are going to have heard of you. There may be a respect for your name. I'm hearing pile three, you guys might be doing something differently from other people. There may be an energy around you that's very unique. We did get the Cosmos card as your pick a card, and that one says creativity. So there may be something very creative or unusual about the methods you're using to go about this. And even with the Four of Pentacles reversed, that can mean there's something kind of untraditional about it. There's something kind of not just following things by the books. Let me get some more cards. Is pile number three on the right path? And where is the path they're currently on leading towards? Where is the path they're currently on leading towards? Let's see. The Queen of Wands. Love that. And what I'm getting for you guys, and it's kind of a real contrast to pile two, is like I feel there's a real force within you. I could almost feel the energy. As I tuned into this reading, I was like, woof, little burst of energy that I'm getting. And it's funny because pile two was a little bit more chill, and y'all are, a lot more energetic. So it just goes to show there's more than one way to skin a cat. There's more than one way to achieve something, to achieve a goal in life, to tick off some kind of success moment. We don't just have to go about it the same way. So what works for one person may not work for another person, and vice versa. And I do feel like for you guys, your energy, your enthusiasm, maybe even your work ethic may have a huge role to play in this. And I feel like there's a need for you to be very alive. There's a need for you to really, use your kind of power, your strength, your will. Maybe some of you guys have a lot of natural power. Some of you guys may be manifesting generators in human design, or you may have a really prominent sun in your chart. You may have Leo placements or other fire placements. So Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. You may have like something like Mars in the first house, Sun in the first house. Even I could see Jupiter maybe in the first house, though it's less of that energy the way Mars and the sun are. But there's something about you that I feel like it feels like a cup of coffee or a caffeine drink, an energy drink, a shot of Red Bull or something. It feels like you guys are, um, there's something very different and exciting about you. And there's an energy about you really seeking out the things you love and the things that bring you a sense of excitement. So, not necessarily seeking out things that maybe are boring or dull or just waiting for, it to just randomly happen to you, but really being active and almost like in the meantime, having as much fun as you can. So it's not to say that you can't wait or expect that spirit will align you with the right thing at the right time, because I think that's a really positive attitude to have, knowing that like everything has its divine timing and being patient with the process. But also in the meantime, making sure we really are saying yes to as many opportunities as possible. We're taking on those opportunities, we're seeking out, we're making things happen for ourselves. We're not just being in an energy of complacency or waiting or, you know, allowing things to kind of just be stagnant in our life, but we're truly pushing ourselves and we're truly trying as much as possible to make sure we really are creating opportunities for ourselves, starting opportunities for ourselves, taking on, saying yes to things, and really using our energy for the highest power that we can. So, kind of like, when you like someone, genuinely pursuing the relationship instead of like sitting by the phone waiting for them to call us. Maybe it's taking that initiative to call them. Or if we want to create a business, not just sitting around thinking about it, but actually taking those steps, doing the research, starting to fill out forms and make things happen. Or if we're like, I really want to create or grow a YouTube channel, making sure that we are actually posting videos and not just thinking about it. Whatever it is, it's kind of taking action and being deliberate about it. The Queen of Wands is very like clear about what she wants and she goes for it. She gets after it. She's not, she's not an overly intellectual energy or an overly emotional. She's not a super placid energy. There's a level of conflict and action inherent in the Wands cards and fire energy. So for you guys, it's really about seeing, how can I embrace those things that excite me? How can I really go about making sure I'm pursuing as many opportunities as possible? How can I make sure I'm not being complacent or just sitting by the wayside, waiting for something to come in? But how can I really be purposeful about it? And how can I take on as many opportunities as possible and make the most use of my time? So it could be that like you've been wanting to manifest love, but you're not on any dating apps, or you have been wanting to make more money, but you're not really taking any steps to broaden your employment opportunities. And I feel like you need to know that you can have all the things you want, you can achieve all these things, but pile three, what are you actually doing about it? How are you seeking it out? How are you making it happen? How are you, taking a step and going for it? And it doesn't have to be that like we pursue it super aggressively. I think there's a beautiful balance here between the Four of Cups, which is an energy that allows it to flow, doesn't force it, doesn't feel like it needs to happen right now. And then the Queen of Wands, that's going to be very active and take steps and start making it happen. She's not just going to sit around waiting. So I know it can seem a little conflicting, but I don't think those necessarily contradict each other. I do feel like we can want something and wait for spirit to align us perfectly with it, but still seek out everything in the meantime. So kind of like maybe an example like with the dating apps would be, you do have a profile, you maybe check it every day or every other day, you respond to messages, but you're not freaking out if you haven't met the love of your life yet. You're not going to be just going on a random date with a guy you're not attracted to, you don't think seems really nice, you don't have a good conversation with him, but you're just desperate for a date. So you say yes and you go on the worst date of your life, but you tell yourself it was fine and you force yourself to try to like him because you don't want to be alone. You know what I mean? So we're not going to be in that energy of scarcity or like panicking and making things happen, but we're still taking active steps to like bring ourselves around and allow the opportunity to flow in. So it's like your profile is up, you're actively on it, you're checking it, but you're also not going to rush it, freak out, have a scarcity mindset. You know what I mean? So kind of like being as active and involved in life as we can be without panicking and going too far in the direction of thinking, oh my God, it has to look like this and it has to happen at a certain time. So yeah, I feel like for you guys, as long as you are taking some aligned action, as long as you are genuinely making an effort, seeking things out, putting yourself in the energy to allow it to come to you, then yes, you are going to be on the right path. And I'm seeing what's happening for you, or what you're aligning yourself with is a fun, exciting life. I feel like some of you guys may be extroverts, or if you're like, no, I'm definitely not an extrovert, you may be surprised. You may enjoy being sociable more than you realize. And I almost feel like Spirit's kind of pushing you or ushering you a little bit outside of your comfort zone, trying to get you to give these things a little bit more of a shot, trying to get you to push yourself to really enjoy these things and seek out a life that's going to make you really happy. Seek out a life that's going to be exciting, that's not stagnant. So I'm seeing you guys manifesting or being on the path to have a beautiful, fun, exciting life filled with joy, filled with the things you love. And there's also the energy of you being really, what am I saying? I was saying tough and strong, and I slammed that into one word, but tough and strong about doing shadow work, about working through your dysfunctions with the devil card. So being really honest with yourself, and even maybe possibly having to deal with some dysfunctional people with the Seven of Swords, and yet continuing to be on the path, continuing to not let that dissuade you, understanding that like with the good comes the bad, and that's okay. I feel like that's another part of your journey, is not getting overly down in the dumps or not being easily dissuaded by any difficulties. There's an energy here about you persevering and using any negative stuff that's happened to you to realize how far you've come, realize how powerful you are, and to just make you realize how much of a creator you are, how special you are, how wonderful you are. Instead of taking it as a negative, as like, oh my God, I can't believe I have to deal with this, being like, wow, I got through all of that. I'm pretty freaking great. I did that. I moved through it, and look where I am now. That's a huge plus in my advantage. So let's get some more tarot cards for pile number 3. We got the Page of Wands, okay? Kind of a similar message to what the Queen of Wands was getting, and the Page of Swords. So both of them are very energetic cards. The Page, it's the youngest of the court cards. So it's going to come in with that energy, and it's going to be relentless. And another thing about the Page is it's also, because it is so young, it's a lot less thoughtful than the other court cards, and much more just like instinctual and just more like channeled energy. Whereas the Knight is going to be kind of careful and deliberate, and they've done it before, so they are not going to be just totally rushing in. The Page is going to just go full force. And I feel like there's a message for you about how you'll know you're in alignment is when things excite you, when things make you feel like, oh, yes, I love it, and you can't wait to do it. That's not a bad thing. Some people may say to you like, oh my God, calm down or slow down. But that's what you're going to feed off of. That's what gets you going. Maybe some of you guys are fire signs. And I think especially fire signs, when people tell them, oh, well, you should calm down, you shouldn't, but that's their gift. Their gift is that they flow, and they feed off the excitement. They feed off that energy of like, I gotta do it. And that kind of like passion and that heat and that fire and that excitement that they have and they're able to channel so easily is what can inspire them to huge levels of greatness. So it's not something for others to judge and say like, oh, well, you should have thought it through, or, why are you being so aggressive about it? Why are you rushing into it? That's how fire signs often like to operate, and it's not a bad thing. It's not something for the rest of us to judge. That's their style, and honestly, a lot of them will get bored unless it has that fiery excitement. So for you guys, this could be your message of alignment, that when you're aligned with something that's going to pay off for you, that's going to lead to blessings for you, it's going to feel exciting. It's going to feel fiery and energizing, and you're going to like not be able to get enough of it. And people may judge you in the spiritual community, say you need to calm down, say you need to relax. But I actually feel like that beautiful enthusiasm you have, and even creating a life where you're just using as your compass those things that give you enthusiasm. So whereas, it's kind of like how some people will seek a partner out and they'll find someone because, they make a lot of sense to them, and that person has a good job, and that person is kind of nice, and they have a good sense of humor. They're not super attracted to them. But to someone else, that would be a nightmare of a relationship. Maybe that's great for some people to choose that way, but for someone else, they want that passion, they want that heat, they want the attraction, they want the chemistry. And it's not really for anyone else to judge or say, well, you should be doing it this way, because there's more than one way to skin a cat. And I feel like for you guys, you have to pick and choose the things in your life based on the things that make you feel energetic, based on the things that make you feel kind of frenzied and excited and like, wow, I love it. That's going to be your sign whenever you feel that way, that you are on the right path and that you are pursuing your highest destiny. So it is a good thing, not a bad thing. Let's get into some message cards for pile number 3. What messages do we have for pile 3 about the path they're on? Are they on the right path? And what is that going to look like? Express yourself creatively, start something new. This is also a beautiful energy of creative expression. We have a lot of creativity. Fire signs are very creative. We also have the Page of Swords, and the Page of Swords can literally talk about writing, any kind of communicative career or task. So any kind of task involving communication. So even creating a YouTube video, especially when you're going to be talking on that YouTube video, or communicating information somehow, or radio, singing, talking to people, all those things are indicated by the Page of Swords, and Page of Wands is very creative as well. So there's something for some of you guys about creativity, about a path for you being aligned with creativity, a creative life. Maybe it's creating YouTube videos, maybe it's writing or painting or cooking or whatever, but there's some element of creativity. And I feel like whatever this is, it's going to make you feel so excited, so alive. It's almost going to feel like a hobby, or like, I can't believe I get paid for this. And that's going to be your sign that you are in alignment. When you feel that way about whatever this career is, whatever this hobby is, it's going to be that thing that really inspires you and just feels like it's coming, almost channeling from somewhere else. The Page of Wands is such a powerful card, and actually the Magician is holding what is kind of like the same image of the Page of Wands, a wand pointed up in the air towards the sky, and then the Page of Wands is a close-up of that hand, but the Magician has the same imagery. So it's really that proof that we can create magical things from that Page of Wands moment, from that pure energy, from that fearsome obsession or excitement, or I gotta do it, or I suddenly have this idea come to me and I need to write it down, and I'm so enthusiastic and I have so much energy for this. That's a beautiful thing. And so I feel like you're going to know you're in alignment and you're on the right path when you feel that energized, when you feel that excited, when you feel 100% down. That's how you can know. And I think we live in a culture that tells a lot of people, hey, play it cool, or calm down, or you shouldn't seek out excitement. You should be very stoic. And of course that works for some people, and that can be great if it's the thing that works for you. But like I said, there's more than one way to skin a cat. And I feel like for you guys, you need to really make sure that you are seeking out those things that get your heartbeat racing, okay, that get you going, that make you like hop out of bed with excitement. That's going to be your message that you're on the right path. It may not be everyone's message, but for you, that's your message, and that's okay. Maybe, for someone else, they would say, well, find a guy that likes you more than you like them and make sure you don't care that much. But that might not work for you, and you might find that you are aligned and you're in your best energy when you're with a guy that makes your heart beat so fast and you're so excited to talk to him and you constantly think about him and you can't get enough of him. And everyone else might tell you, well, you need to come from a place of peace and you need to be like blasé about it. You need to be relaxed. But that's not necessarily going to work for everyone. Sometimes when you know in your soul that this is so perfect for you, you have that excitement, you have those butterflies, that energy, not just romantically, but about anything in life. And maybe it's something that someone else would be like, oh, I can't believe I have to wake up and do this. And you're like jumping out of bed, can't wait to start it. So follow those things that are giving you the excitement. And you may have a lot of creative gifts, pile number 3. Let's see what other messages we're going to get about the path pile 3 is on. This one says your purpose is personal expansion. How can you be more intentional with your choices and live with more purpose? So I also love this because I think one of the things that people get wrong when they're talking about your path that you're on is they have this idea that it has to like be a path with a certain goal in mind, a certain destination. It has to be very deliberate. It has to lead to this. It's kind of like, well, what is the point of this unless it leads to something? Like, what's the point of going out unless I'm going to meet someone cool? Or what's the point of working unless I'm going to get paid a lot of money? And I think a shift in mindset that can be really amazing is doing things for the fun of it, doing things for the heck of it, doing things for the story, doing things because it makes you feel good, seeking out those things in the meantime that put a smile on your face, get you going, get you excited. And I think that's what you're being told to do is like, not everything has to be for the purpose of some specific end goal of like, it has to look exactly like this, or it has to have some kind of intellectual reason why it's happening. Instead, we can actually do something just because it made us feel good in the moment, just because it was fun, just because it was exciting, just because it put a smile on our face, just because it made us feel young and alive and excited and whatever. And so it's funny because like at the end of life, a lot of times people remember those short-lived things, their summer fling that they had when they were 19, or the job they took that had nothing to do with their actual career, but was like a lifeguard job at the beach when they were 21 and they had the best summer of their life. It's not necessarily something that when you think about it, oh, that led to this thing, that led to this purpose, and this was all a part of some grand plan. Sometimes it's just a short-lived thing, but that's what makes up the fabric of our life. That's what makes life so beautiful and exciting. And sometimes when we're so focused on like the path and what am I doing and what's the purpose of this, we totally miss all those beautiful in-between moments that actually are what makes life worth living. So it's kind of like a message of like, have fun, pile 3, don't be afraid to like kiss the guy you like, and don't be afraid to take the fun job that, maybe doesn't pay as well, but has an amazing experience for you. Don't be afraid to like take that trip to the foreign country. Don't be afraid to maybe go out and have a wild night out and laugh and go out with your friends. You know what I mean? Don't be so serious or so focused on like, how is this aligning for me? Or how does this benefit me? Or what's the purpose of this? And relax more into an energy of allowing things to happen, allowing things to unfold, and allowing it to happen just for the sake of the beauty, the fun, and the excitement that it's going to give you. And that's good enough all on its own. Even if it doesn't have some greater payoff in the end, that's also how you're going to actually, I think you might manifest abundance this way. Sometimes when we fill our life up with so much beauty, so much joy, so much excitement, we actually are so much more aligned with the energy of abundance, of money, of love, of joy. That's why they say, phrases like, well, you meet your spouse when you're not looking. And I don't necessarily think that's true in every case, but I think that it does align us when we're in an energy of already feeling fulfilled, already loving our life, when we're not in this energy of looking, desperately sitting around being like, okay, but when am I going to meet him? I'm so alone. I'm so lonely. And instead we're going out with friends, we're enjoying, we're having fun. We feel like our life is full. Then yeah, we're going to be much more aligned. We're going to project that energy out, and it's going to be so much easier for us to get an energetic alignment with that relationship energy, that fulfilled, beautiful energy, or feeling like, I love my job. I love my life. I have a great life. It's so much fun. And then that's when we get aligned with making money. When we're in the energy of, I hate this job and I'm miserable, but I have to stick it out, but I just don't have enough money. Then of course, the money's going to run away from us, you know? So, in that way, seeking out those maybe short term fun experiences actually can pay off so much more long term, even if it doesn't seem to fully make sense in the moment. You know what I mean? Or when we think about the long term plan. Let's get some final message cards for pile number three. Is pile number three on the right path? And what do they need to know? Is pile number three on the right path? And what do they need to know, Spirit? Let's read this. So this says, far away places, get ready for new horizons. Wow. So there is that beautiful travel energy around some of you guys. There's an energy of you traveling. There's an energy of you exploring. There's an energy of you saying yes to new opportunities, new places, new things. And there's an energy of really, like I said, pushing your boundaries. Maybe some of you guys do feel called to travel or to take a trip or to just meet someone new, try new things. And I really think that is an energy that would be great for you and would help you to live out your dreams, would help you to accomplish certain goals. Because it's almost like it's going to give you that excitement. It's going to give you those happy vibes and that positive feeling and that aliveness that I think is going to be your signal that you are close to manifesting money and that you are on the right path. Let me get some more message cards for pile number three. We got protected by angels. You are cherished by the angels. Oh, and oh, infinite abundance. Okay, a bunch of these came out. So we got vast vistas, expand your horizons, another travel message, infinite abundance. Abundance is pouring into your life, and miracles, expect the wondrous to emerge. So yeah, I would definitely say, I mean, it's pretty clear you guys are aligned with the right path. And I feel like you are going to get more of a confirmation of that whenever you feel that energy of real excitement, that energy of, wow, this is so cool. So don't be afraid to say yes to the dates. Don't be afraid to take on that job that maybe you don't feel fully ready for, or it's a little out of left field, or you're super excited, but you're not sure exactly how it's going to benefit you long term, but you love the idea of the job. Don't be afraid to trust the process and to fill your life with beautiful, fun, exciting things in the meantime, because I actually think that's going to pay dividends. That's going to kind of like grease the wheels of your life and just make it flow to you so much faster. The more little beautiful things you have, the more beautiful big beautiful things are going to come into your life, okay? So don't doubt that you going out and having a fun girls' night out is just a stupid waste of time. Don't think that. And don't think that, you having a beautiful, fun summer fling romance is going to prevent you from meeting the love of your life and you have to be so serious and you have to like only date for marriage. Maybe there's a message for you that having fun, enjoying, laughing, living your best life, doing all the things is actually the whole purpose and part of your journey and why you were put on this planet anyway. And it's going to align you with your highest path. And then that path will unfold for you and might align you with those things you're trying to manifest even quicker. So yeah, I think that's what I have for you. Pile three. If you want more clarity on this, you can head to my Patreon. I just posted a reading all about how you have glowed up and changed, the spiritual progress you've been making, where you've come from spiritually and where you're headed. So that's a really deep one. And then before that, I posted a reading all about their late night thoughts about you. That's a fun, spicy 18 plus reading, but there's all different kinds of readings over there and new ones get posted all the time and voted on by you guys. You will also get early access to my YouTube readings. You will be the first to be able to watch them when you're on Patreon, and you get to watch them ad-free as well. So there's lots of content to be seen over on Patreon. And if all that sounds good to you, then head to the link underneath the timestamps in the comments in the description. And I'd love to see you there. And thanks for watching, guys. Let me know in the comments how this resonated for you. I always love hearing from you, hearing your thoughts and stories. So let me know what you think. Also, make sure to hit the like button, give this reading a thumbs up if it resonated, and make sure to subscribe. Also, if you want to get a private one-on-one reading with me, you can get that at my website, briarrosetarot.com, and you can sign up for a half hour or a full hour-long session with me. Have me pull tarot for you, read your astrology, channel for you, or a combination of all three. And like I said, you can book that through my website, briarrosetarot.com, and the link for that is in my description. So thank you so much for watching, guys. I am sending you so much love and light, and I'll be back again very soon with another reading. Take care, guys. Bye.